Welcome, everyone. My name is Sheikh Bey with USA Crypto Group, and today I'm going to be hosting an AMA with the team from RetroArena. Very excited about this one. As all things crypto, this AMA is for informational purposes only, and it is not financial advice. It is your responsibility to go out and do your own research when making investment decisions. For any new listeners here, we generally start off with a brief introduction of the team, the project, and then we let them proceed with their presentation, followed by Q&A and questions from our channel. And then we'll open it up for discussion for any listeners with any questions that they may have. At the end, we'll wrap it up with some prizes, and we'll go from there. So today we got RetroArena, which I'm really excited about. And, I'll just kick it off with reading, what they're about. So RetroArena is a play-to-earn wagering platform that provides gamers an easy way to compete and increase excitement while playing their favorite games. Not only can you take part in online tournaments on this platform, but you'll also be able to create your own content as well. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Eric and his team to go ahead and present your team, your project. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, and floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Mr. Sheikh, for your presentation. Thanks, Mike, for the opportunity you've given us tonight, whatever the time is. My name is Eric, and I'm here representing the team of RetroArena. I'll be hosting the AMA together with the hosts and my colleague, Yumiko. As you mentioned before, this is actually RetroArena. We're very excited about it. Just giving the chance to thank everybody for joining us on this journey. And first of all, we'd like to give special thanks to all people who contributed and made this actually true. And we'll give a special warm-up for our devoted friends and volunteers that were very handy when it comes about moderating us on pages, whether Telegram or other places. And last, I'm very delighted that I had the chance to work with these guys. We've known each other for quite some time. We've been in the DeFi space for quite some time as well. And as soon as we started this project, I can assure you our inbox was very bombarded with questions concerning the structure, the economics, our specialty, what we are special with. And you see, in brief words, I can just definitely explain what RetroArena is. It's actually a driven community project. When we say driven community project, that means we trigger a community. And since much people are interested in play-to-earn games lately, we thought to come with a specialty. And the specialty we will divide on two phases. So the first phase is the token itself, which stands on 3 layers. And those 3 layers are actually funded from the taxes that will be generated from every buy and sell transaction. So the project starts with the 200 BNB hard cap. And the minimum contribution is 0.1. The maximum contribution is 2 BNBs. So when I say a 10% tax on every buy and sell transaction, that means that it will be divided as 3% will be redistributed to the holders in BUSD. And when we speak about the first 3% that will be redistributed as BUSD rewards, we're speaking about a source of passive incomes. You creating a passive incomes mechanism that does not require a certain deep knowledge in the DeFi world, because it's simple. 3% will be distributed to holders manually in BUSD. And then we will keep other 3% as liquidity pool. And then the other 4% will be allocated as marketing and development wallet. When we say marketing and development, we need definitely to distinguish between what's marketing and what's development. When we say that we have a platform, just to break this easy, many people spend time playing games. And when you go play another, we've been in the Binance Smart Chain for a while, so we are actually aware that there are games that, Yumiko back me up when it comes about this. Most of people spend time playing their games. And there are platforms that oblige you to play certain games, that you need to spend time on such certain game. And most of the time, it doesn't work out, because most of people collect their tokens and then they sell the tokens, and that causes the charts to dump down. And when we thought about our specialty, the utility that we have. It's not only enough to encourage people to participate in tournaments and when it comes about esports, it's also good to let people merge between crypto world and playing games, and you don't need to impose such a certain game on them. You could just let them play their own favorite games, and those options will be actually available, and some of them are actually available on the platform. So when I say 3% of those taxes will be redistributed to holders in BUSD, is actually stated in the white paper and several announcements, whether you will be hearing on this group, on many other groups. As I said, we are developing a whole rewards, and this ecosystem is actually effective and simple to use. And when I say, I mean, this project is actually funded by our own expenses, and we are human beings, we have private lives. We do try to combine between this and our private lives. So when we have this diversity of the team between us, that we can take care of many things at once, and of course we are here to learn. But however, when you have this certainty that you are capable of creating the difference, creating something that will stay, that's why you come with this beautiful idea, which is thought to call it RetroArena. And arena people battle. If you analyze the word arena, you might come back to its Greek origins, which is talk about when people gather and do something they love, which is, I don't know, most of people here, I know we're triggering people who are actually interested in gaming, but most of people who do crypto, most of them are not interested in gaming. So when you try to merge between and combine between this idea, it will lead you to, people don't want emotions, they want to make money. And when you make money, it's kind of hard to play and make money. So when you combine these things, RetroArena gives you the opportunity to play your own favorite games and spend time on that, and at the same time be rewarded with tokens. And that helps us. That helps us gain more exposures, gain more participants, and add more members to the community. That helps us. I'm actually trying to cover up much aspects about the project, and due to some other members of the team are not actually with us at the moment while we speak, but we are definitely glad to cover up all the aspects of the project. And now, I think I'm done explaining the phase 1 of the project, which is the token and its utility. However, when we come about the RetroArena, we have a platform that's called Retro Event. In that platform, participants will be able to apply, and we will have those submissions received in our mailbox, and we will actually select those participants manually so they can compete at their own servers, at their own favorite games. And instead of playing another game that you don't know nothing about and you have to level up and spend time on it, and then you can collect those items or those tokens that will be rewarded, and you will spend the whole process that will take you time, and you're trying to convert with this and you have to pay gas fees and stuff. So that's why we thought combine this idea of crypto and esports. So that's why our own platform is called Retro Event. It's actually working, and we will definitely disclose all the links later on after we finish the questions and answers. And I think I'll let my friend Yumiko take a part of it and explain. I don't want to take much of the time.
Hey man, you said everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the excitement, you can definitely feel it in how I talk.
I really feel it. Yeah. Shake and bake, may I speak?
Absolutely, man. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
And Eric, yeah,
Thanks,
great
guys.
intro and great introduction, and and some more information into the project. But yes, feel free to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, guys. First of all, hello everyone. Hello, the 25 participants. My name is Yumiko. Actually, my real name is Marwan from Morocco. Basically, I'm inspired by the name of Yumiko from a character from a fame game called Brawlhalla. If anyone know Brawlhalla. So basically, I love the game. That's why I'm choosing this name. My role in the team is the developer. So I had the idea of making that sort of utility. It's like I was like sitting with my friends. Some of my friends are on my team, and I was like, "Hey man, yeah, the other watch. What about making a play to earn gaming utility, but without making any game, like without developing any custom game? Yeah, like how? Yeah, we can get gamers feel excited more about the gaming, like by playing games on our platform. Like how? Yeah, so we host tournaments on our platform and getting people more excited to play their favorite games, for example, Fortnite or PUBG or Rocket League. Yeah, so for example, if someone choose one of these games and won a tournament, will get a reward from us by RetroArena token. So that is the main utility.
Yeah, I think these tokenomics that I explained lately, they are meant to enhance and just like sustain growth and enable multiple use cases. And for our case, it's the esport tournaments. At the beginning, we will try to make it like it's as a thing to gain more exposure to the project, to actually spread the word about us. When we say spread the word, I mean people with us in the team are actually making living on marketing and development. So, and my friend Yumiko has explained that he's interested in playing games, and this is the diversity of the team that we use as a good thing in our favor. So when I say actually the project is funded by our own expenses, we are definitely wise about where we're going to spend those funds. What's our next step? How are we going to spend these marketing wallets wisely? I mean, this is actually our first step of our marketing campaign. If we speak about something that we have invested our time and we gave it 100%, we definitely have passion for this. However, it's not enough to have passion for something. It's the responsibility lays so that you make sure to deliver a bright idea of the project to the people. So people would have the clear idea and don't have big expectations or small expectations. You need to have the clear idea about the project. What are we here for? What's our specialty? Well, how are we special? If we said that we spent some time analyzing, studying, and working at Binance Smart Chain, we know the problem with play to earn games is not the games itself. It's the continuously. It's the time you invest in those games, and time is the most valuable thing actually in whatever we do in our private lives. And I don't have to get into that because spare me the details, man. The thing is that when you be fast and effective, why would you spend time and effort on making a game? And when you're making a game, you're not gonna make a good game that will impress people and be like, this is it. This is no rocket science, but you will make a difference. Why won't you let people play their own games and host tournaments? And when you host these tournaments, people will be actually encouraged to play and get paid by a certain thing. And when you get paid by a certain thing, it's actually good for the token. From one side, you make people excited to come and hear about your token. And it's because it's actually a hard thing to maintain this quality between keeping the holders and making them satisfied so they don't leave. Because when you leave, you're not a family anymore, and you're not triggering this community that are willing to wait for a long time. And when we say that we work on this our own hands, that means that the project will be delivered phase by phase. At the beginning, we explained much about the token, and then we have explained about this platform that's called Retro Event. There will be definitely a reevaluation of the roadmap, and it's depending on what's happening to the market. Like, as an example, our next step is making a marketplace for NFTs, because we cannot ignore the fact that NFTs is a good way. It's a good trading way. It makes people excited to hold something. Probably they have this excitement to know whether are they holding something rare, are they holding something common, will this pays, will this not pays. It's this excitement that keeps going on. And for the people who are interested in games, we're actually thinking that to make a market to change goods, items, everything that has to do with gaming, and it doesn't have to be only in the States, because I'm sure definitely there are people here listening to us from all over the world. And last but not least, our last phase, which will be delivered slowly because it takes time, which is a staking ability if things goes well, and if the plan goes well, because we definitely have a long way when it comes about marketing. This is only the beginning. We definitely give a special chance for people to ask questions, to interact with us, so we can know more about people's expectations. What do they want? What do they think? What do we think? How can we make that idea clear? There are lots of things. When I say that the token implements a 10% taxes on every buy and sell transactions, and it will be divided on 3% redistributed, you're already making a passive incomes by BUSD. And then 3% will be used to fuel the liquidity pool, which serves the same function as buyback, which is it will be triggered to save the chart in case the chart is not looking good, because sometimes this can happen. You must think for every strike there is actually a counter strike. You need to be ready for all things. This is not our first project. We definitely learned from mistakes that will be done in the past or in the future. This is human beings. And we last but not least, we left the 4% just to allocate the marketing and development expenses. When we mean marketing, we mean triggering people. When you mean people, you mean participants. But you mean development. Development is something else. As an example, we were speaking about the platform, and then we're speaking about the NFT market, and then the goods and items market, and then the staking platform and the staking ability, which let people stake tokens and get more passive incomes. And that will actually encourage people to hold the token for a longer time. All these enhanced tokenomics serves one function, and this function needs to be clear for the participants. The people who are interested in your idea, they need to get the clear idea so they will not miss the big picture, which is a driven community project stands on what the community wants. And when you as a dev, or you as a manager or marketing responsible, we need to see the project from different perspectives, because this is how you get the big picture. This is how you think about other things. When I left 4% of marketing wallet, it's supposed to fund expenses on being listed on many platforms such as CMC, CoinGecko, FTX, many other platforms. And when you have to keep this fire and this tension going, it's like you're a host, you have a crypto group, you know how it goes. You have to keep people you have to keep people excited, actually dying, thirsty to see something. That's why you have to keep a little part for paying for ads, influencers, community giveaways. All of these things needs to be thought about in order to you can trigger this community that we want to have. And if this is good, people are satisfied, they will definitely add new members to the community and increase holder satisfaction. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much I talk, it doesn't matter how much I explain, because we are actually two people who represents the project. But when you love something, you are passionate about it, you give it your time. And this time is a valuable thing, is actually a good factor. So that's why we thought to use it for our own goodness. When we say our own goodness, I don't mean our own profit, but we say the community's profit. Because people are interested in playing games. And the time they spend at playing games without being paid for it enough is the problem itself. And as they say, when modern problems, there are modern solutions. Yumiko, do you got something to say?
Yep. I would say if anyone wanna ask about like our marketing plans, our future plans, our features that will be added, yeah, anything like that.
Yeah, so I've got a list of questions for you guys. I can go ahead and start off, and
Yep.
then once I'm
Sure.
done with all of my shenanigans, I'll open it up for Q&A, and then I see people are asking questions in the channel, which is great. And then we'll go for that. So quick question. I know you mentioned that the hard cap is 200 and the minimum buy-in is 0.5. Which launchpad are you going off of right now?
Yeah, so basically the launchpad is Gempad.
Perfect. That's kind of what I thought. I just wanted to clarify because I did see that. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Really excited about that. They're a partner of ours, and it's a great platform, and it's good to see
Yeah.
people go off that.
Actually, they recommended you guys.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I do have, and some of the explanation that you had mentioned gave me some additional questions. So with the platform that you're launching, are you just launching the platform for other games to launch off of, or are you creating a game also on your launchpad, but then also allowing other people to use your launchpad as well?
Yeah, the last thing, yes, I would answer by yes, everyone can use our launchpad. And secondly, there is no game that we will develop to make people play and earn. We are making a unique utility by making people play their own favorite games. For example, if I love play Brawlhalla every day, I will make myself playing on my platform and creating a tournament for it. If I won, I will get the reward. That's the play to earn utility. Sorry for my accent. I'm not really good in English.
No,
But
you're
you're
totally
definitely
fine. As
trying.
far as I'm concerned, I have an
Yeah,
accent.
thank you.
You sound normal.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man, you're good. Don't worry about it. I appreciate it. Um,
I mean, it's not an easy thing to compete with the big names. It's not. It's definitely not. But those big names started as small as well. And the
absolutely.
thing that we hear that we have is that we are doing something that we already know, and it's not a feeling of deja vu. It's just that we know the problem. We have the solution. It's just that how we transform that solution into reality. It takes dedication. It takes hard work. It's not gonna come and pop up from at one night. But the marketing campaign is actually very aggressive, and it's a good thing that we started from here. We appreciate the atmosphere. We've been very helpful with us, and it's just a great thing that we need to appreciate. And you said something about the minimal contribution. I think the minimum contribution is 0.1 BNBs instead of
Yes.
0.5.
Thanks for that
Yeah,
correction.
and something else. When you play other games of other platforms, it's the idea of that you are. It's mandatory for you to play that game, so you can level up, and it takes time. It's the idea of that we impose a certain game on you that we didn't like, because it's actually it takes a lot of time. I mean, most of people that plays games are not only teenagers that being funded their living expenses by their parents. There are actually adult people that have private lives, have kids, have jobs, and they need to combine between all this crypto and gaming. I mean, we thought about that. It's just that it takes steps, it takes passion, it takes time, and a mile's way starts with one step. That's why we're here. I'm sure people have lots of questions. They really interact with us. I'm sure lots of them appreciate the enthusiasm. And I'm sure lots of people can feel the passion that we have through the way we speak and describe the project.
Absolutely. And then, we're talking about the token utility, and you were talking about like the market, the NFT marketplace. Is that going to be ready at launch, or if it's not going to be ready at launch, what's your projected date or ETA of when that might be available?
Actually, for the main utility, by naming the retro events, it's actually 100% ready before the presale. It is. Everyone can check it. It is the domain name app.retroarena.io. It is actually ready.
So to be
The
clear,
app
And
is actually
you said that
working.
it is available. It will be
yeah,
available
it
at
is
launch.
available.
Awesome.
It is actually available.
Yeah,
We'd
it is
definitely
actually
be
available.
glad to share the link with you so you could definitely disclose that for our dear
Yeah,
participants.
and then and what would be good too is when you do share that information, make sure you to put it in your channel as well. That way, all that information is inside the channel, and people could always refer back to that.
Yeah, it is actually
Yeah,
pinned on
it's
our
Perfect.
actually
No, I
done,
Instagram
sir.
appreciate that.
announcements.
Yeah.
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 I mean, the pinned messages is actually a valuable tool. It makes you understand lots of things about a certain project just by clicking on the pinned messages. It's actually safe. because most of the same information are laying there independent messages.
Right. And
You know,
then
it's not a surprise that people have. I'm sorry, sir.
Nope, go ahead.
You know, my friend Yumiko says that Gempad has actually advised us to have our first right here as a start. And I'm definitely, you know, I already described what time is it here, where I'm living, and the circumstances. But I'm not tired, actually. I feel the enthusiasm. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And then we appreciate you staying on late. So the other question that I have for the token utility, you talk about the BUSD rewards. And this is, I'm just going off your white paper of what I was doing some research on the project last night and just some general questions that I have. But for the BUSD rewards, it says it's automatically determines the appropriate increase and passively redistributes the rewards. Can you explain that a little bit further on how that works and what investors can expect?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go
You want
ahead.
to take this, Yomiko?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the BUSD reward is automatically going to the holders. For example, each one BNB holding, you'll get the 3% BUSD rewards from it.
That means everything will be collected from that 10% taxes on every buy and sell transaction. And that 10% transaction is actually divided. The first 3% will go as BUSD rewards. It is actually ecosystem. It's not authentic. The idea is actually safe moons. Everybody's aware of that. It's just that why not people could buy BUSD direct, but with the contribution of 0.1 and the maximum is 2 BNBs. This project is actually 200 BNB in a hard cap. However, BUSD rewards is actually, it's something special because when you have the idea of creating a passive incomes through BUSD, and if you are in the Binance Smart Chain, you know how important BUSD is lately. The market has been thriving. Things have been pretty messed up. But we had actually discussions about if we were going to make the contributions leads to a certain reward, and we thought that we came up with the BUSD as the best thing because we cannot ignore the BUSD is a very important thing lately. I mean, most of people will come and look at the project as it's not authentic utility, and people say this project has no specialty or ready to come up and play with the big game. This is an obscene scenario. But I think for this tokenomics, people don't want to see too much tokenomics. The distribution will be based on the transactions. Like, let me explain this. Like, the distribution will be based on transactions. Like, in each transaction, 3% will divide to the holders, and it will be divided in BUSD.
No, that's perfect. I appreciate that. One of the other questions that I have is for the NFT purchases. You mentioned earlier if everything works out about the NFT purchases, but with that, is there going to be a limited supply on that, or is there a max? And how is that going to work with utilities? If you can explain that a little bit further.
Actually, we didn't talk about the supply or something like that. We are focusing totally about the token and about our main utility. And actually, at the first thing, like we are looking to make the NFT collection so we can add it at the first place on our marketplace. Yeah, that's our main desire after the pre-sale.
Correct. And then, once you get to that, is there going to be an unlimited supply, or will you have a max on that? Like once you get to that
of course
point?
it will. Of course, it will be limited. Like there is a supply.
Perfect. And then, will you be able to? So I know, like, let's say that we get to the point where you can buy the NFTs and such, and it goes to your wallet. Is there a way that you can, transfer that NFT to another wallet, or is it set on that one particular wallet that
No,
it's
yeah. It is allowed to be tradable. Like there is so much utilities we can add for the NFTs, like breeding and staking so far. Yeah, and it is tradable, will be on the marketplace. So you can like transfer the NFT from wallet to another wallet.
perfect? Okay, that's definitely. I think that's a good benefit.
Yeah,
Of
another thing, can I add something?
course.
Yeah, so as I mentioned on our community, we are working on a Discord community for it. So yeah, stay tuned, guys.
No, that's great. And when you get that live, you can definitely put that in the channel.
Yeah.
The other part, I'm just going to go through, some of the notes that I took down. Like I said, I'm just going to go in line. Staking, I know you mentioned when you kind of did a brief introduction, but it doesn't sound like staking might be available at launch. Do you have a time when that will be available? And then once it is available, what are the APY? What's the APY that you're expecting? And is there any type of lock time frame or a period that you guys are going to go with?
Yeah, actually, first of all, the developer who helped me to create the smart contract is called KGNCO, and he is from the Gempad. He's not from the team, but recommended by Gempad. He built this smart contract, and yeah, he will help me to make the staking available after the launch. We will announce it. There is no such clear details about the APY and the lock time for it and the lottery and stuff like that. But yeah, we will provide the details about the burn fire and the whole tokenomics about the staking, the lottery and the burn fire and the rewards. Yeah.
All right, I appreciate you for answering that. I think one thing too is, with staking, there's a lot of investors that really like that feature and they like to know what those numbers look like. And so I know this is, the first AMA, but, maybe, when you get, to that point, food for thought, but, have some of that information, ready going forward. Cause a lot of people, including myself, I love the staking idea. It helps generate, long-term holding and helps build that floor. And if done properly, it can definitely set the project up for success. And I think that'd be a huge benefit to you guys.
Yeah.
This is what we appreciate about AMAs, is that we get the chance to interact with people, different perspectives about the projects. This is how we learn. This is how we make the project rich. When we said staking, when we said NFTs, when we said this is things that we did not say we promised. It says that things that we're working on. And when we say we're working on, we're funding the project on own expenses at the moment. And such steps takes time. It takes effort. It takes partnerships. That's why I made sure to distinguish what is that 4% that we left for development and marketing. Because marketing is another thing and development is another thing. That's what I want to make sure for people that are listening to us.
No, absolutely. And I appreciate the candor too, because it is important to know that they are items that are work in progress and, that is, good information to put out there, but it's, another thing too is, just have some of that specific information because your investors are going to want to ask either way. So, it's good for the back and forth. Absolutely. I totally agree. The next question that I have is the governance, and you talked about, voting and voting rights and things like that. So can you explain how you foresee that working? Will it be like a once a quarter on decisions? Will you do like a Telegram vote, or how do you plan on getting the community involved in the governance piece?
For making any decision before, we'd like to hear the voice of the community. And for hearing the voice of the community by making polls, and gathering people on the AMA and hearing their decisions. Like, for example, what's the first game will be hosted for the tournament on the retro events will be provided by the community, not us.
Yeah. Based on the project is actually driven community project. It stands on community. So when we say community, it's not only the participants, it's the dev team as well. Maintaining this transparency is actually an important thing, and that's the problem with most of the project lately. The DeFi world has actually been a dangerous place where people cannot build trust in this world. However, when you say a driven community project, it stands up for community. And before you make any decision, community needs to be aware. Otherwise, you will insult all this hard work you've been doing. And people will definitely lose trust with the project. And instead of you spend your time trying to maintain this goodness between satisfying the holders and adding more members, you will spend time chasing those members who fled away because they have lost trust for the project. That's the problem that we don't want to fall for.
No, absolutely. And I think that's important too, is, get the consumer, or the investor engagement, because, they are the investor. So it is important to, hear them out and see what they have to say. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Most of the project that are actually, when it's something wrong in the structure of the tokenomics, the devs ends up buying or selling tokens, dumping down the charts so they can fund other things. That is, if they want to do something good for the project. So they end up selling from the liquidity or selling from actually the money that's there so they can fund other expenses. And that's harming actually the chart. So choosing a wise, strategic, effective tokenomics is actually an important thing. And that's our own first basis of the project. That's why I explained that there are phase 1, the token itself and its tokenomics, and phase 2, which is the platform and its events, and how we will merge between adding more participants that will participate in playing games and getting paid by retro event or RetroArena token. And that's the good thing about this utility that we have. It's our specialty. It's the daughter of our thoughts. That's why we're actually passionate about it. There is actually a chance for development. This will not be the last AMA, but definitely it's the first, and we learn much things from it. We definitely appreciate the atmosphere. This is the good things about the DeFi world, is that they get the chance to interact with each other. And the questions you've been asking us is actually valuable for us, because we definitely, if we're going to come up and talk about staking ability, we definitely need to have numbers, because people want to have tangible to touch, like something to get to know at the beginning. Otherwise, if you don't come up with answers, this might sound a little suspicious, and we don't want to fall for that trap, because that will be insulting all the goddamn hard work we've been doing from the beginning. And it's not only in crypto world, this goes as a life philosophy for every field, every domain, because we're definitely humans.
Absolutely, and transparency is always best, and I appreciate that you recognize that and you want to be as transparent as possible. So one of the other questions that I have for the retro events, the partnership, do you have any of that lined up right now, or is there any games ready? What does that look like right now for a launcher, like shortly thereafter, and what kind of partnerships are you looking at?
Yeah. Actually, for now, so far there is no official partnerships with gaming esports companies, but the games, the available games for playing the tournaments are Fortnite, Warzone, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant. So these games are obviously live on our platform, and we'll add more games soon.
No, that's perfect. Sounds like you guys have, items in the works, which is good. The one thing that I thought was really cool too, is the tournament aspect. How often are you guys planning on holding the tournaments? Is it going to be, once a month, once a quarter, weekly, once you get up to, enough members? Like, how does that aspect work?
Yeah, we don't wait for the enough members actually. Once we are launching, we will prepare our first tournament, and the participants will participate for free, and the winners will get the reward. We'll provide details on our community, and secondly, we are planning to make a partnership for a streamer, so we can provide and stream the tournament there on Twitch.
Well,
Yeah.
that's great. Do you with the the Twitch and the streamer, I mean, do you have any of that lined up right now, or is that going to be is that in the works right now, and you can't discuss it?
I can't
It's
like
actually,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, well, saying that we fund the project our own expenses and being wise about where we're gonna spend those marketing funds is actually, this is the whole things that's been holding us down from where do we want to go first. We definitely have lots of influencers, lots of people on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram that want to interact with us. We get offers all the time, but what's the good for the community, and how do we want to maintain this atmosphere, this idea of gaming? So that means that the marketing and development expenses will be directed to this. It will be divided. First, it will be concerning the token, how we're going to gain exposure for the token, anything that's related for the token. And then when we set things clear for the token, then we will transform everything to the game and anything to do with gaming. So when you make things step by step, it makes it easier. It's like you have a clear road in front of you. You know what you're gonna follow. Because we're definitely not only two persons here. We're speaking on the behalf of the rest of the teams. So this thing of discussing between the team, using our own diversion, knowing the fact that we are diversified here, it's actually a good thing for the token.
Thank you for that. The other piece with the tournament, you talk about in your white paper, the winnings. What are the ways that you can win, and what are the winnings? Are the winnings going to be in the native token, or is it going to be in BUSD? How's that distributed, and what kind of time frame? Let's say that we start a tournament, today, and I kick everybody's butt, and my team is the winner. How does that work? We get paid out within like 24 hours? And again, is that going to be native, or is that going to be in BUSD, or how does that process work?
So the payout will be automatically, immediately, in the chain, and will be manually to your wallet. You don't have to claim tokens on the website or something like that, because it is not a play to earn game we developed. It's games you want that you play, and we are sending the RA token to your wallet. That's the reward, not BUSD or PNB.
Yeah, the BUSD, it has to do with the tokenomics that includes 10%, 3% for liquidity pool, 3% in BUSD rewards. When it concerns the game, the rewards will be in the RetroArena token. You see the thing that we're trying to do here. It serves both functions. It's good for the circulation, it's good for the exposure of the token, and it's good for the participants who spends their time and actually enjoys what they're doing, and at the same time getting rewards in the RetroArena token.
Absolutely. Thank you for that explanation. Just a couple more questions. Looking at your roadmap, I know this is far out, but I'm kind of curious on how you plan to achieve this, just out of curiosity, and I'm hoping that the success comes with it. But you mentioned that by Q4 this year, you want to hit 10K in holders. How do you plan on achieving that during a kind of a bear market right now? And what does that plan look like to achieve that?
Yeah,
I think it's something that you can, but I'd like to hear it from you guys.
It sounds like impossible, but here is what we think about it. Like me and a partner that it is not available on the AMA. We are working to make a marketplace, not for the NFTs, but for gaming setups. Like if you wanna buy if you want to buy anything like graphic cards, RAM, or PC, you can buy it from us on the marketplace. And we think that we can scale our business as well as our token. That's how we will increase our amount of holders.
All right, thank you for that. I wish, keep at it, and it's anything's possible. And I think you guys have a pretty good idea of what you want to do. I think that the biggest thing is just kind of share up some of these numbers and some of the questions that I had asked. I think you guys are on the right track. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go into the channel, because I know that there was some questions that came up in there, and I'll go ahead and ask those. Let me take a look here. So I got Sergio Kitchens. His question is, most projects are solid during the launch period because they're equipped with a good token and utility infrastructure, but underperform soon after due to dumping by investors after a launch exchange. What will you do to mitigate those risks? Thanks, Sergio.
You want me to answer that, Yumiko?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is what we explained, actually. This is the obscene scenario that people suffers from. I mean, there are people who've been in the DeFi space more than us, actually, but the problem is still one. Once people pluck their items, they cash out, the charts drops. And then they were forced to spend too much time at a game that they did not choose. Well, they choose because of the love of making money. But here, we are not imposing a certain game on people to play and invest their time in. We're actually giving you the chance to play whatever you want and host these tournaments. It's actually fun, people to compete, and at the same time getting paid by our token. Well, that serves a good function for us as well. But the idea of spending time and actually sell, most of people, once they get their items, they sell. And just that's it. It's as simple as that. Do you got something to add?
Yeah, basically that's why we are making the main three features, like the the auto add liquidity, which means the buyback, and the BUSD reward, which means a plus reward to your wallet. So when we talk about the auto add liquidity, which means
The
that
3% we left, yeah.
Each transaction of buy or sell will provide the 3% on the pools, so we can get the shot.
It's like a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
It's like the team has its defense mechanism, which is if we cover up from a different aspect, we still have that 3% for the liquidity pool. It will be triggered manually by the dev team in order to save the chart and make the chart look healthier, because we cannot ignore the chart is a very important facade for more participants to come.
No, absolutely, sure, and I appreciate that that explanation. The let's see.
Thank people for the question.
Yeah, and I've got a few more that are in this channel, and keep in mind too, like it looks like, I mean, we got 111 on right now, so a lot of people probably joined a little bit late after your presentation. So keep that in mind. If you don't mind just repeating some of this, just so we can answer everybody's or get everybody in at least. So Jason says, do you plan to increase the total number of tokens, which it looks like your tokens is 100 million. Do you plan on increasing the total number of tokens, or is it enough to the amount written on your website? How do you get someone to start betting your RA tokens? Because we know your project is about to launch. Are you ready to compete fiercely with the big name tokens?
Yeah. Well, that's why we are making this supply so small. Yeah. We're not a meme
reasonable supply, actually.
Increase it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are tokens that actually have made good results. I don't want to put names, but let's take Saitama as an example. I definitely want to avoid this thing, which is mentioning names. Well, they just migrated to V2 because they realized that the tokenomics they had are not wise, because they've been selling tokens to fund expenses, their travels, wherever they want to do. The main thing is that the structure is wrong, and we did not want to fall in that mistake. Am I making myself clear?
Yeah, absolutely. If you feel that's the adequate number for you and you have a strategic plan about it, I don't see why that's an issue.
I mean, do you want to present something professional for people, something like you see this token has a future, while you take a look at the total supply and you be like, God damn, what's wrong with these guys? Everything they're trying to describe cannot match with this total supply because it's unbelievable. Nobody would do business with these guys, even if they spare too much money, even if they work their asses off, even they save much money so they can fund these expenses of being listed on many platforms or having many partnerships when it comes about the gaming and the NFT world, the game, the art, the music, whatever they want to merge in their project. With this total supply, people will definitely trust to have business with this supply, because having billions or trillions, I mean, I definitely support the idea, but I mean, it's not practical. That's the whole thing. It's not practical.
I mean, from
we don't decide anything.
From my experience as an investor before, small supplies means it makes the tokens more precious. Makes the token more precious and the token name so powerful.
Using the right mechanisms to get rid of the token. When I say get rid of, to like minus the circulation of the token, it does a good thing for the chart. It goes up in a way or another. That's why we thought of a reasonable supply. That people will not be scared of dealing with you. People will not even reconsider dealing with you. I mean, this is only the beginning. We've definitely learned lots of things from this first AMA. We definitely needs to come up with more concrete facts and numbers. However, the total supply is actually reasonable, and that's my only opinion. I don't impose my opinion on anybody. If it's a driven community project, everything we do will be shared as a poll with the community. So it's just a discussion about the total supply, and it's good that you mentioned it up, actually.
No, absolutely, and that's what's good about Q&As, because you can get some information about what the public is actually thinking. The next question, and then we'll keep making this efficient, so that way I know it's late for you. We'll keep making this efficient and keep going through these real quick and then open it up. So Sergio Kitchens has another question. I think you kind of already answered the first part of it, but the second part was, so how do you plan to make a project more solid to face whatever regulations challenges that come your way? As we all know, crypto is starting to have a lot of heavy hand government. So what's, I guess his question again is, what regulations, what's the plan in face of those type of challenges?
Actually, we thought about our participants from, I think, do you want to be nice with me and explain me the politics? What do you guys have in the States? What's the policy of taxes on crypto in the States?
I mean, oh my God, it's a hot mess, man. I don't even want to
I know, I'm definitely aware. I just want to hear from you.
Yeah, the taxes, the way that it works here is essentially, if you have like Coinbase or, let's just say, Coinbase, anything that you deposit in there and withdraw, they have a 1099 for, and it's not a 1099, but it's another form that they present to you at the end of the year that you give to your accountant. And it's weird. It's complicated. It doesn't make any sense, and still complex, and it's not user efficient whatsoever.
I mean, allow my humble opinion about this. See, can you track the money that, I mean, you can pay from your bank card, right? Your credit card, your debit card. You can pay for it. You can buy crypto with it.
Absolutely.
You definitely pay. Yeah, but when you put that centralized money into something decentralized, can you track that money? I think it's really hard for the government to track that money. correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, if they took their due diligence and they actually wanted to follow the money like wherever it could, wherever it went, it's possible. There's a project out there right now that we had a similar AMA with, where we were there first, and they created a token to where that tracking type of possibility is makes it very difficult. We can take Canada for example, when they froze all of the the consumers, not all of them, but like certain consumers up there, because of, protesting or whatever it was, they froze their funds. This type of, there was a token that created this, a particular system where it allowed you to hide that, because if the government wanted to get, knees deep into it, they could. I mean, all you got to do is follow wherever those transactions go, and you can find out where that money goes. It just takes a lot more work than just your average, just quick peek and see.
That's the problem, actually, making it hard for people to use that money into decentralized world. When you put such a trick, funny tricks on taxes, people were not encouraged to spend more money in crypto. And that saves the government a lot of hours of thinking how we would track all that money. The thing is that when it comes about our token, we definitely need to consider that, and we will definitely be taking that in consideration, because if we here at your group, we are triggering people from the States, right? We definitely need to know rules. We need to know much about taxes when it comes about crypto taxes from the States. If we didn't have this AMA, God knows how many questions we've missed. Was it Sergio who asked that question?
Yeah, it was Sergio Kitchens. He's got some pretty decent questions in there.
Thank you, Sergio. I really appreciate your questions.
The next one, I'm sure he appreciates that, and thank you again for the questions. Everyone, we'll try to get through this. Papercut says, does the team have any prior experience in the game industry outside of crypto?
Yep. Most of the people in the team are pure gamers, like before crypto. I personally play everyday games, online games, single player games. Like, that's how I came up with the gaming idea on the utility.
It's because you spend time. You invest the most precious thing in life, time.
Yeah, I literally know what I'm doing, that's why.
Knowledge is definitely wide sea. Everybody's hard to navigate on it. But we're here to learn.
Eric, I have to ask this question. It's really important, and I need you to answer it honestly and seriously. And I don't need you to laugh. But Rampage Jackson says, is the team from the 80s. Do you wear wind suits, have mullets with a mustache, and rock pit vipers? It's a serious question, man.
I'm sorry, I just laughed. No, man, I don't know. Why do I have to sound a bit anonymous? Or people likes the mysterious things. Is that, I don't know. I work in the medical care. I've been working in a hospital for like 6 years. I love my job. It's just the things that I see every day that makes me realize how precious is time. Well, my friends here in the team are spending much time playing games, but the idea of making money playing games and not playing certain games that are imposed on you, when you have this liberty of choice, the privilege of choice, it's that thing that makes us special. This is the idea that keeps us going. It's this how the utility is special.
No, I think that's great, and you can tell your passion behind it, and I appreciate it. I think that's it for all the I appreciate the humor on Rampage. Thank you very much for that, as usual. And then what I'll do is, I don't see any other questions in the channel. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute your mic and ask any questions that you have. If we don't hear anything, we'll go ahead and move to Mike, and we will go ahead and start off with the prizes.
I just wanted to chime in. You mentioned taxes in the U.S. There's a lot of levels of complexity to it, but at the end of the day, the government in the United States has imposed that any transaction of $400 or more that goes to your bank account will be reported to the IRS. And so there's still a lot more to file to pay taxes, but that's whenever they start putting you on their radars, whenever they see transactions of $400 come into your account or more, and then you don't have a way to account for it.
Yeah. Matt Graham, thank you for the valuable information. I mean, the idea of reading about something on internet, looking for it on internet, is different than hearing it from people who are living the situation. That's why I thank you, Matt Graham, for the information.
Yep, no problem.
I have a question. Is the laws is it everything falling under federal law? Or is it different from state to state?
It's federal. What Matt was talking about.
Actually, some states have laws that are even more strict than federal laws. Other states don't. Like, for example, the state of California, I want to say, is either the highest, if not one of the highest tax states. So after you're done paying all your federal taxes, then you have a whole bunch of additional state taxes on every facet of your life, whether it's how expensive it is to register your vehicle or to keep it in compliance with their requirements, or your actual income tax. They just tax you at every angle. I want to say maybe Maine, I've heard, is the only state that taxes more than California.
Well, in Sweden here we have 33%. It's actually 33.12% where I live.
And don't you get like 6 weeks off a year for vacation?
Yeah, if you work hard, you can actually compensate those weekends. I mean, we are definitely brats here. I don't want to deny that fact. See, the thing is that I'm not a Swede. I'm actually Moroccan, and I spent a huge part of my life with Yumiko and some other friends. It's just that circumstances has came between us, and some people has just to move on, start new, some other places. But this crypto has got us together all these years. That's how it's unbelievable, actually. That's why we appreciate it. It's freedom. It's not only freedom economically or financially. It's definitely a freedom of choice that you spend. Like, if I moved away from the country and I still have contacts with these good people that I grew up, it's always when success, when you share it with people that actually struggle with you, strive with you. It's like I'm baking a cake, and we had to go through stuff so we can get the ingredients, and we have went through hell so we can bake that cake. And once it's ready, I'm sharing it with somebody else who didn't do any goddamn thing for that cake. See, that's the whole thing about success, and share it with people who actually thrived with you, who suffered with you, believed in you. That's why we have this good feedback between us. When I mentioned earlier the diversified between us, the devs, it's a good thing for the token if people could see it and feel it. And they could definitely feel it from the way we want to learn about the projects. We want to learn about what's going on. If I would maintain that bossy character, I would never ask questions from the participants. I would never learn about the taxes in the US, or is it distinguished from a state to a state. It's just amazing, actually, how crypto gets people together.
Oh, absolutely. And then we got a couple more questions. Tiger23 says, I know you kind of touched on a little bit. It's kind of vague, but if you don't mind, just give us some specifics around it. But Tiger23 asks, can you speak about your aggressive marketing? What does that include? I know you talked about AMAs, but what other items are you doing?
Yeah. Beside the AMAs that we are planning, like Phoenix Holding tomorrow, and the other day Gempad AMA, and Z launch the day of the pre-sale. In few minutes, we're gonna make the other AMA. Yeah, still a lot of AMAs. And beside
we have
the
Golem
AMAs,
on the radar.
Yeah. And beside the AMAs, we are making bunch calls, as you can see on the pinned messages, and daily Reddits, Twitter, gathering people from Twitter too, daily Reddits,
Discord.
as I said. Yeah, the
Discord, we're
Discord
working on
community
Discord.
will come after the pre-sale, of course. But for the marketing before the pre-sale, that's what we are spending. And for the launch, if anyone asking for the trending on DEX tools and CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, that's something basic. Yeah, of course it will be. Yeah. So that's our marketing for the pre-sale.
Thank you for that. And then you started mentioning the DEX tools. There was a question in there that you might have saw, but the way did ask. It says that you will be on DEX tool. Are you planning on doing that after launch? And is this an ongoing marketing plan? Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit more? You touched on it a little bit, but can you elaborate?
Yeah, sure. Actually, we are onboarding with the guy who's gonna make us listed on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and he is the same guy. If we deal the order with him, he will get us on board on the DEX tool trending. If not, we are going to another guy, and we will approve everything before the launch. So everything will be approved on the pinned messages and the announcement before the launch. Don't worry.
Thank you for that. Hopefully that answers that question there. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute your mic. If no more, we'll go ahead and kick it off with Mike and
Hello.
prices.
Hello, H2.
I have a question.
Go for it, H2O.
Hello.
Thank you for having me on the VC.
No, thanks to you.
You're welcome, buddy.
My question will be, we've got a lot of similar projects like yours in this space. I'd like to know, do you plan taking your marketing plans outside the space? Something like maybe street board, just to get people that are not in the space aware of what is going on. And do you have plans for crypto education, just as an incentive to draw people into the project? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Yomiko, you want to take that?
I didn't hear actually everything, but did you mention the getting people educate on the creative space?
Sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would actually say that it's not really officially that we are going to educate people about crypto in general, but we are going to make tutorials and stuff like how to run the engines and how to manage on, and tutorials about the how can I say it? Yeah, introductions about the NFT space on the Discord, by making AMAs and answering people about their questions, and making and practice something like on the screen boards on the Discord. Yeah, but like getting people educated by us on the crypto space, it's not really official.
I mean, we never thought about something official, like we would gather people and create like a space just to educate people about crypto, because I think we triggering people that are definitely aware of crypto, and knowledge is actually a big thing. It doesn't matter how big you are or how small you are, you still learn things. I mean, if we're gonna talk about myself, the couple of years I've spent in crypto world, sometimes I get situations where I discover that I haven't spent not a goddamn minute in crypto world. I realize that I don't know much. That's how you learn. And when you are in a safe atmosphere like this AMA, you get the chance to ask questions, and people would take the audacity and answer you nicely. This is actually the process of learning, educating ourselves. It's two sides. It's your sides and our sides. We're learning stuff about what the audience wants, what the public wants, what people are excited. And you definitely wants to learn things that the devs can, or like the manager can, or people who are actually controlling or moving a certain project to reality, to existence. So it's a really great thing, but we never thought about something official, just to answer your question.
All right, thank you very much. But I do
And
believe you have plans
I mean,
to take your marketing outside the crypto space.
Yeah, lately I've been taking a look at the Saitama new wave thing that they're doing, and I hate this thing about mentioning things, but I think they use this thing to educate people about the DeFi world, about what they're gonna do with their money. And I think the idea is it's quite good thing actually, but when you speak about education, I mean it's levels. You're not gonna reach the superior level at once. You gotta start, and everybody starts basics. Like probably everybody looked on YouTube what's crypto and how to buy crypto. It's a human thing to do that, but do you have the courage to admit that you've done that? Somebody else would skip that part and get something. It's like you're building bridges. Knowledge is like bridges. You're building for other people, and most of the time, something that I don't appreciate in the crypto world is that when a certain person reach a certain level of knowledge, that doesn't make the other side stupid. It's just they didn't reach that certain knowledge yet. You got to be nice to answer that properly and nicely. I don't know if people agree with me, but it's just how I feel. It's my humble opinion.
Sure.
Appreciate that, H2O. Any other questions?
Yeah, sure. My last question is, much energy is put as touching pre-launch marketing just to get the project in motion. But I do believe that post-launch marketing is what sustains any project. Do you have strategic plans for your post-launch marketing?
Yeah, as I said, to give a quick briefing about the whole project. This is RetroArena. We're based on the Binance Smart Chain. We're driven community projects. Our own tokenomics are enhanced so we can actually gain more exposure for the token, add more participants, add new members, make sure people will hear about the token. And on those tokenomics that we have made divided on 3%, which will be redistributed to holders in BUSD. And we left another 3% that will be allocated as to fuel the liquidity pool. And then what you're talking about, which is the marketing, we thought about 4% will goes to marketing and development. Now, when we speak development, we have many phases to deliver, and we will be working on them one by one because we're doing this our own. Of course, we're making partnerships and being definitely wise about where we're going to spend our marketing funds. Being listed on many platforms such as CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, FTX, those things, it's not a rocket science. Everybody can do that. We will be doing that. It's a good thing. We cannot ignore the fact that you can gain more people from that. However, we're thinking that we definitely have an aggressive marketing campaign, starts with AMAs, calls. However, this creativity we have to come up with something new is what will help us to gain more exposure for the token. And it's all just to, like, if you're going to keep people excited, you need to pay for ads, for influencers, community giveaways. And it's all of that so you can add new members to the community. And the good thing is that you want to maintain this good quality. It's like keeping people satisfied. At the same time, there's something happening in the project because the project is moving on. There are new things coming. There are new things coming all the time. And when you reevaluate your roadmap, your tokenomics, depending on what's happening in the project, now you're active. That's our specialty. And that's why we are very definitely wise about where we spend our marketing wallet, which places we're going to show up and talk about the project, which kind of community we're going to trigger. USA Crypto Group, we've definitely been recommended by Gempad, and we do not regret that actually, because we definitely had a good time. We laughed, we learned much about each other. We definitely appreciate that. And this is a part of the marketing campaign. Whether you have heard about us somewhere else or at this place where we're talking right now, that's a success. That's a good profit. That's an example about the marketing campaign.
Appreciate that explanation. We'll do one more question, then we'll. I think we've got one more, and I think that might be it. But Queen Vet says, "I'm not a gamer. What are the benefits of me investing into this project?"
All right.
Being a holder.
Gamer, yeah, being a holder is a good thing. It's actually not being a gamer. The idea that we have explained from the beginning is that we don't want to impose a certain game on people to play and invest their time in trying to find hacks, how to level up, how to collect much items, how to spend time on that certain game. If you're not a gamer, then you're going to stick to the tokenomics that we have, which are a 10% taxes will be definitely on 3% redistributed as BUSD rewards. See, this part of redistributing as BUSD is actually creating your passive incomes. And that depends on what's the market is going, how we are performing. When we actually, a big part of the performance depends on the idea we deliver for people today. The clarity, the transparency we have. Our performance depends on what we do as a community. And I'm not going to come here and use the word community just so I can play on a sensitive chord. No, but we're speaking systematically here. I hope I answered that question in a way or another.
I believe so. Thank you very much. There's a follow-up. I'm sure we'll see one. Last one that I see in the chat, and then we'll go to Mikey. Jada Stephen Brown. First time I've seen you around, so I appreciate the question. And she says, in such a competitive environment, how do you plan to scale and develop your project to a greater height to reach for the moon? And how can you differentiate yourself from your competitors in terms of technology and customer support? Great question.
Yeah. Yumiko, do you want to take that answer?
Please, can you repeat the question? I have like a lack of the connection.
Oh, that's okay. It's a two-part question. I'll give you the first one first. So it says, in such a competitive environment, how do you plan to scale and develop your project to a greater height to reach for the moon?
Yeah. I mean, after the how can I say it? Yeah, after the launch, when the token is released, yeah, after the dump and pump features and the couple of weeks or even couple of months after, people maybe sell and didn't get the same excitement as before. Yeah, so that's why we are making soon our NFT collection. And after it, even though the bear market, we are planning to make the retro market to buy our physical products, and which means we're gonna combine buy the retro token and the real world products, and that's and that's our main desire, to make the RetroArena long term.
And the devs are definitely committed. So when it comes about customer service, everything will be handled manually, and every certain step will be shared with the community as polls, as questions, as votes, as some things to give this feedback, to interact with the community. So that's how we're special. And when we say the BSC Smart Chain, we are familiar of the kinds of play to earn games that are circulating right now. We definitely studied the problem with them, and we try to come up with something special for people to believe in, to examine, to enjoy, and to practice, and at the same time getting paid with that. We know that there is competition actually, but It's your creativity what makes you special, and that nobody can compete with you if you know what you're doing. And I think it's a good thing that we are committed to this, because it's actually doing less than commitment will actually insult our intelligence and our hard work. And the hard work is not over yet. I feel like this is only 15% what we can deliver. Next AMAs will be coming with more solid facts that we do have. It's not that we will not come with, it's not the fact that we will come up with assumptions or things that we will promise and cannot deliver. It's just things that we have and we need to come up and explain and deliver clearly, because it's our responsibility as people here to speak on the behalf of others that are not here. It's our responsibility to speak everything clearly for them, or instead of them, address directed for the people who are here, such as yourself asking us questions to learn about. So that's our specialty. A good devs that are diversified, actually here doing their job, triggering everything manually from the distribution. I mean, the distribution in BUSD will be delivered automatically. However, the distribution of tokens for the participants who will play in the game will be distributed manually, same as the submissions or the applications for people who want to participate in the tournaments will be handled manually. The liquidity pool, which serves as a defense mechanism to keep the chart healthy, will be also served manually. So when you hear all these things, you know that there is a good team here interacting with the project. This is the dollar of our thoughts, and we're taking care of it in different aspects. I'm sure me and you, Miko, only two people here, try to cover up as much aspects here. Next time, we will definitely have more members of the team. We will reach this conversation. You, Miko, do you got something to say?
Yeah, I will say thank you so much, guys. Like, we started like below 10 participants, and now here we are, 130 participants. I will say, guys, please stick with us, stay tuned, and stick with the pinned message. Be aware of scammers. The presale will be on Friday at the 4 p.m. UTC. Get your fingers ready. It's 100% public. Will be probably in Stafford. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you. I will see each one of you on the next AMAs. Thank you so much.
And something else before I leave: trade safely. Stick to the pink messages. Trade safely.
Yeah, please, guys. We do not DM you at the first. So
We will never
stick
DM
to
you
the pinned
first.
message. Yeah.
Absolutely. Much appreciated, and I appreciate all the feedback. And what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and kick it off with Mike, and he'll do the cash prizes. And one thing that we usually do at the end of the AMAs is we usually have USA in the group. He'll post a message, but we try to send participants over to your group. If that's something that you want us to do, we will do that, and then we'll go from there. But Mike, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Perfect, brother. It's all yours.
I'm Mike.
Right, so-
You choosing the stripper costume or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
You thought I forgot about that?
I took this whole time getting dressed.
Whoa,
You
whoa,
know it.
whoa.
Let me
Man,
share
you
my screen here.
taking that whole time to undress.
Yeah, that's it.
Appreciate the atmosphere.
Took a more,
ماذا
took a more
مدينة
time
أنت
to,
من في مغرب؟
yeah. So we got 131 participants on the AMA tonight with RetroArena team. It was an awesome, amazing first AMA. We're glad that you chose us for your first AMA. With that being said, we're going to pick one off the wheel here, as well as one from your Telegram group that says USA Crypto Group sent me. With that being said, we will get this kicked off with a couple of shuffles and grab our winner off the wheel. And by the way, I'll make sure that this is pinned and posted with all the winners. You will have a copy as well. London Hess, congratulations. You won yourself $25.
Congratulations.
All I have for you.
Congrats.
Congrats. And about, I'd say probably like 10 minutes, I'll stroll all into the RetroArena Telegram group and pick another winner from over there. Thanks again, guys. Great AMA.
Yeah, and then lastly, before we let everything go, I just wanted to say I appreciate RetroArena for coming in for their first AMA. It was a good Q&A to learn about the project. Gave you some items to think about. But one thing I do want to kind of end on as well before I let you guys finish it out is, again, this is an AMA for informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Please do your own research. Other than that, RetroArena, Eric, and Yamiko, thank you very much for coming by and explaining the project tonight. If you have any additional information, please put it into your channel, as we can always have that updated for content as it comes available. So I appreciate it, and I'll leave you with the last few words, and we'll go ahead and end the AMA. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I definitely want to thank you for the behalf of everybody who couldn't make it here. Definitely, people have things to do in their lives. People are sleeping. It's different times all over the world. But I definitely thank you for the chance that you gave us here to be here, to interact with you guys. We learned about some things. We have definitely had a good time. We appreciate everybody who spent their time and participated and gave us a chance and listened to us. Thank you for the questions that you gave us. But guys, thank you, Yumiko, for assisting me at this AMA. It's been a great pleasure. Never disappointed. Thank you, Shake and Bake. Mike, I owe you that dance, baby. Thank you, guys. We make sure to spread the word. I appreciate the atmosphere. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks again. Really appreciate it. And with that being said, that was an AMA with USA Crypto Group and RetroArena. Thank you guys very much, and we welcome all of you to visit their group. And it's not about the cash prizes. It seems like they do have a good group over there. So take a look, ask questions, learn more about the project, and continue to help them grow. Without further ado, that is it, and we're going to switch to Hangouts here in a second. Thank you, guys.